Acid mine water is contaminated water flowing into rivers and dams, mostly from abandoned mines. This water causes all sorts of ecological harm and compromises human and animal health. On the 30th of April 2014, the Gauteng Department of Agriculture and Rural Development, together with the Mogale City Local Municipality and other stakeholders, hosted a media briefing at the Krugersdorp Nature Reserve. Among other topics on the agenda was the cause of the problem and the likely environmental consequences caused by acid mine water on immediate surroundings, inhabited and vacant surroundings around the 3 drainage basins in Gauteng. Addressing the media breakfast, these are some of the things the MEC of Agriculture and Rural Development had to say.
We've made reference to the long-term intervention, and that's the National Government Department of Environment long-term plan that has been developed, and therefore Gauteng has aligned itself to that national long-term plan, and hence we've come up with a 5-year plan. So all what we do is also informed by the long-term plan. The Gauteng long-term and the national long-term and Gauteng 5-year plan does include initiative on active treatment, which includes decant management through pumping, sludge management, neutralization, and ingress control of acid mine drainage. There's also an adequate strategy consisting of both short-term and long-term intervention at a national level that addresses active management initiatives in the Verts area, which is in Gauteng.
In his message of support, MEC Mxolisi Xayiya had this to say.
But we actually support these initiatives. There's quite a large number of them. Also having started with the mine residue areas agenda. So we've been watching the developments. The sole reason we provide this support is, in essence, the fact that we are still to live, because whatever we have in the form of the space called Gauteng is borrowed from our children.
The department explained how holding previous mining companies accountable was ex post facto. This means that retrospective action cannot be taken against these companies.
We cannot apply the current legislation backward and say 100 years ago you polluted. There was no legislative framework to manage them. You cannot police without a law.
A visit was then made to a nearby acid drainage site. Upon arrival at the site, guests were taken aback by the problem itself and the sheer scale of the site and the size of the machinery needed to operate on it. The acid mine water is treated in this plant and then channeled back into the rivers and dams with the acceptable pH level. The government has vowed to keep on working on a long-term goal to make sure that the water flowing on our land, river streams and dams is good for the environment.
Apart from launching the strategy, we are here to create awareness amongst our people so that they cannot find themselves being affected by acid mine drainage. We will also monitor and evaluate the progress to see if it is being effective and to ensure that our people are safe at all times.
Our primary responsibility is to ensure that we militate or mitigate against any pollution that is water-based, that will preserve the environment, particularly for our future, and also to sustain this province in the longer term.
The guests got a full tour of the site. It turned out to be a pleasant day that was shared among all those who want a better environment for the future inhabitants of this beautiful and diverse land of ours.